Hi artists, this is Mrs. RT, the art teacher at the Angelo School. Today we're going to learn about pop art, which is art based on popular culture. And we're going to watch a video first that was made by kids at the Tate Art Museum in London. And then we're going to make some pop art together. So let's watch the video.
Hi, I'm Ellie, and these are 4 of my favourite things. Bananas, my red coat, tomato soup, and comic books. But what do they all have in common? 2 little words, pop and art. Pop art is more than an art movement. It's a lifestyle, a craze, a way of looking at the world. But what is pop art? Pop is young, bold, and fun. This is life in the 40s. It's a bit grey. In the 50s, people wanted plastic and glamour. They wanted to have a good time. Buy more, spend more. Don't just watch TV, be on TV. Now you can listen to the Beatles and Elvis, watch cartoons, eat popcorn, drive cars, and become famous. Now it was pop art, all about culture. After all, pop art means popular art, art for all. But who were the pop artists? Richard Hamilton, this guy, said pop art was low cost, young, witty, glamorous, and mass-produced. Hamilton made collages using imagery he found in glossy magazines. Lifting images from films and advertising was completely bonkers at the time. This is one of the famous Marilyn portraits by Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol, this guy. See, a cool guy. For Andy, art was a product, the same as a production line of Coca-Cola bottles or Camel soup. He liked to use bright colours and silk screening techniques to produce art on a huge scale. Pretty clever, I'd say. Pop art was revolutionary! Pop artists were competitive. Who could do what first? Warhol had his advertising. Liechtenstein had his comic books. Pelosi had his collage. And Minnie Mouse. Wait, let's go back to Liechtenstein. He used Band-Aid dots to make his artwork look like comics, like the ones you get in newspapers. Female artists were also rocking the pop art trend. This is The Only Blonde in the World by English painter Pauline Botti. Pauline added fun into her art and was a bit of a rebel. Girl power, Pauline. Pop art came out of the gallery too. Nicola L. took this big red coat around the world to get people to get involved with her performance. This made a real pop crowd, not the celebrity faces in other forms of pop art. Pop art can also be found all over the world. In Iran, Parviz Tanavoli was a sculptor and painter. Like other pop artists, he made his art out of things that looked like they could be thrown away. In New York, Jean-Michel Basquiat remixed it with hip-hop and street art. Pop is on TV, on the radio, and on the internet. Like right now. Does that mean I'm pop art? Well, there's one thing Andy Warhol and I can agree on. I don't know where the artificial stops and the real starts.
So that was our video about pop art, and now we are going to make some pop art. So think of a positive word or phrase that you could use, and I'm going to show you how I made something like this. So for the first one, I chose be kind. For this one, I'm going to do the pop art idea, with the phrase dream big. So I have my letters written out in pencil. One trick I usually show my students, if we're going to do bubble letters or block letters, one trick is you can start by just writing the letter. And then to make the block letter, you would go right around that letter, trace right around it. And then you could go in and erase or color over the first letter that you made. So that's one trick to make your block letters. For this project, we're going to use paper, a pencil, and some crayons or markers if you have them. I'm going to start with markers so that you can see mine. And I'm going to go right over my letters to make them into bubble letters. And I'm using the phrase on this one, dream big, but you can come up with any positive, school appropriate word or phrase for your pop art picture. And this is a good project to start with pencil, because if you don't get the letters right the first time with pencil, you could erase it and try again. Those are my block letters for the words dream big. If you're still working on your letters, you can pause the video and then play it again for the next steps once your letters are done. And you can see in this bold pop art picture here that the letters are done outlined with bold black lines, and then there are these shapes behind it to really make those letters stand out. So I'm going to show you next how we make this kind of star type shape around the word. I usually just start with the letter V, and then I go all the way around the paper with more of that same type of letter V. And I get in close to the words and go all the way around until you've completed that one shape. And now you can choose. You can go around like this one and make more of those triangle or like letter V type shapes going around it, or you could make some bubble shapes going around it. That's what I did with this one. For this one, what I'm going to do is make another letter V in between each of those. And now you can go through, we saw a lot of those dots in the different types of pop art that we looked at, especially with this artist here, there was a lot of dots. So what I'm gonna do with mine is this first shape that we made, I'm just going to color that in, but this one, the outside shape, I'm going to cover it with dots before I color it. All right, and now it's time to get creative and color it. If you have a lot of space around the edge, you could always do another layer of that star type of shape or the dots going around the outside. But when you're coloring it, remember, you get to choose your own colors, but pop art was based on popular culture, was big, bold lines with bright colors. So maybe pick 3 or 4 colors for your pop art and have fun coloring it. Stay creative.